Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builders Supply. In this video is to bring you a closer look at the best ED211 mortise cylinder wrench. This is what would be called a dual-purpose tool. It is used for installing a mortise cylinder into a mortise lock or a keyed switch, an exit device, whatever you're installing it into. Obviously in the best system, which is inherently small format interchangeable core, you'll have the tail piece for your interchangeable core, the forks or the two prongs. They'll go right into that hole that's there, those two holes, and you'll be able to insert that shell, the mortise shell, over that and then install the lock into the door without actually making any contact with the face of the cylinder. I personally can see the benefit in not touching the face of the cylinder. Polished chrome, you will leave fingerprints. Oil rub bronze, you don't. It's helpful to not make contact with those finishes because you will leave marks on it just by touching it. And with the oil rub bronze, you'll pick up some of that oil rubbed process on your fingers, and that will then get transferred to everything else you touch. So this allows you to step away from that. Its downside is that you don't have the same sort of feedback or input in your wrist or in your hand to tell when you're really properly threading it on. So that's my opinion. It's a dual-purpose tool in that you can then test the function of the lock by turning it around, and the same forked tailpiece inserted into those holes, then you can actually manipulate the lock as if you were using the permanent cylinder, which is, I think, its actual use, because you're the lock installer, you're the hardware supplier, and you are not providing the cores, because those are being sent direct to the end user. It might be a restricted system by best, or that just might be how the project is set up. The permanent cores and keys go to the end user, period. Reduces the potential for callbacks when you've already tested the lock function. You know it works. Because you're not sure that it works until you've tested it. And if you don't have a cylinder inside of a cylinder plug inside of the cylinder housing with a key to test it, you actually don't know. Because what you're testing for is not that the lock will work, because the lock will work. You're also testing to make sure the lock works, but to make sure that the installation of the lock on the door, the preparation of the lock in the door, and the strike on the frame and the alignment of everything actually permits proper operation, and that you can achieve easy opening when you turn the tail piece to activate the lock to open the door, so that you're checking for the strike plate not being, or the door being hinge bound, so that there's pressure on the latch bolt so that you can't smoothly pull the lock back. You can test all that operation with this simple tool. There are images down below, photographs I should say, of it, and then a link to a tiny little cut sheet, and then of course the product brochure, which will show you all of the best service equipment. Being an outrageously well-established provider of incredibly high quality locks and small format interchangeable core systems, they naturally have a very long service equipment catalog that is absolutely worth your review if you have any access or exposure to having to install best lock sets. Any questions on the best access ED211 mortise cylinder installation tool or any other best product, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you.